What is up, my fellow champions of the realm? It's your boy Apache here, and today we're going to be teaching you the basics of your favorite axe-wielding champion, Terminus. So first things first, we got to talk about the abilities, what they do, and when you should be using them. Term's auto attack is going to be a massive axe that swings from side to side, dealing 650 damage in an AoE per second. His second ability is going to be Calamity Blast. This ability does 250 damage at base, but can be augmented to do 350 damage through decimation. As you can see real quick on the side of this meter, you're going to see 4 additional slots. By absorbing damage, you can hold up to 4 additional charges. So for Term's first ability, this is going to be Power Siphon. This is a cone that will act as your shield. It emits from your hand and can absorb an infinite amount of damage, as well as not be destroyed. It is not on a cooldown, it is on a meter, as you can see. And by absorbing 1200 damage, you will be able to create a Calamity Charge. While running the right build, these Calamity Charges can be used and should be used as your main source of Siphon regeneration. Term's second ability is going to be Shatterfall. This is going to be Term's movement ability. Upon activation, Term will leap into the air in an arc, then slamming down, dealing 500 damage, and applying a 60% slow for 2 seconds in a 50 unit cone. This ability is the one ability of Terms that actually has a very long cooldown. But the cool thing about this ability is it will not go onto cooldown until he completes his slam. So if your ability is interrupted mid-leap, it will go back on, it will come right back off of cooldown and you can leap again, right? So just going to show you how this looks. Leap, land, and apply a 60% slow onto the enemies that he hits. Term's final and ultimate ability is going to be Reanimate. After death, Term has a 4-second window in which he may revive himself and rejoin the fight. This ability will take 2.5 seconds to cast, and after this cast, he will also do a 2600 damage explosion in a 55 unit area. You also will be vulnerable for about a second after the explosion, so be a little wary about that. And by vulnerability, I mean you can't swing and you can't put your siphon up. So I will show you this real quick, as well as I will spam the siphon button so that you guys can see how long it takes before you can actually defend yourself. Alrighty, one more shot. Now I'm spamming the siphon button. Res. So it's actually probably about 2 seconds before you can actually defend yourself. So be aware, if there's an Andro nearby waiting to reversal your explosion, you won't be able to block it if he times it correctly. Alright, now with the basic out of the way, let's talk about what cards and talents you should be using in your build and the items that you should be buying to increase Term's effectiveness. So, the best talent from top to bottom is going to be Decimation, Crush, then Undying. Now let's explain these. Decimation is going to increase the damage you do with your Calamity Blast. The reason this is the best is because there is no way to counter it, and it really makes your alt fire a very bursty ability. Being able to throw 5 charges into an enemy, dealing an insane amount of damage. Most squishy targets, you will be able to dump a right click into them or an alt fire and one swing, and it should kill them. Crush is going to be the close second. Reasoning for this is because it creates opportunities that you wouldn't normally have without running Crush, in the sense that you bring CC as well as a stun. This stun can also drop shields like Vivian's deployable shield, Nando's shield, Koa if he's not running half shell, and obviously it will stun Khan through his shield as well. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Undying. Undying doesn't really bring much as well. All it really does is gives you a little bit of tankiness when you're low. So if you feel like you're going to be targeted really hard, or you just really need that extra DR, Undying is the way to go. Now, to talk about builds, right? So we're going to look at our main build. You're going to run Abomination 5, Necromantic Might 5. The reason you are running these two so high is because both of these cards in conjunction will make your Power Siphon more available to you. Abomination will generate 10% of your Power Siphon for each enemy hit by Calamity Blast. So if you have full set of Calamity Blast, if you hit all 5, you will get half your meter back basically instantly. Necromantic Might is just going to make it so you have to absorb less damage to get the charges. More charges, more equals more Siphon, equals you live longer. As well as, since you're running Devastation, it will give you a little bit of more opportunities to have self-sustain. It Watches is a filler card that I like because when I have downtime, whether it's swinging on a shield or an enemy or a deployable, I will be able to passively gain my Siphon back by just hitting things when I have free time and I don't have to be doing anything. One thing that I forgot to mention about Devastation is that will also proc on shields. So same thing with Abomination. So even if you can't hit an enemy, as long as you're hitting a shield, you will be getting self-sustain and you will be getting Siphon charge back. We Can Rebuild Them is another filler card in my opinion. I just think it's a really good card in the sense of it basically increases your effective HP when you're being healed, and it also works in conjunction with Devastation. So more healing, never a bad idea in my eyes, especially with the caught nerfs. So yeah, moving on to my second build, we're going to be talking about Crush. The only difference is we're not going to be having the extra healing. Instead, we're going to be having Wrecking Ball, and as well as we're not going to be having It Watches. The reasoning for that is because since I want to be looking for opportunities to stun people and drop shields, I want to be able to reduce the cooldown that my that my Shatterfall has, right? Since it is a kind of long CD, just being able to get a half a second off for every second I'm siphoning is pretty nice, because if I do slam early to stun someone out of shield, I will be using my Siphon anyways, so I will be making my cooldown a lot shorter. Alrighty, so now that we are done with the builds, I don't really have an Undying build. This is the build that I wanted to try with it, but it's nothing too crazy. I don't really want to go into too much detail with this. But we're going to be talking about items you should be building from the shop on Term. So Term is a very bad caught spread. He's a spreader. He's a melee champion, and his right click does not apply caught. So buying Cauterize early is not the best bet for Term. And his reasoning for that is he's very slow, and to get value out of his axe, he's going to need to be very close and up and personal. So your primary buy is going to be Nimble. At the start, you can buy Nimble 2. Only way I would recommend against that is if the enemy has a lot of CC, then maybe you can go Nimble 1, Resil 1, or even Resil 2 if you feel the dire need to be able to survive those CCs, or you just feel like there's no way you'll be able to avoid them. The next buy will probably be either a Haven or a Blast Shield buy. Reasoning for that is because just being a tank, being more survivable, and making it a lot harder for the enemy team to kill you will always be very valuable for tanks. And then after that, your last buy will most likely be a situational buy. So whether that's buying Master Riding to get back before to get there before the enemy tanks, or just to match the enemy tanks, morale boost to charge your ult faster because you're using it a lot, Rejuvenate just to have that much more healing, or maybe you need Bulldozer to break Luna or things like that, as well as maybe you just need the extra caught for your team, right? So like I said, Nimble, Resil, and defensive buys will be your priority. Other ones will be more situational, but yeah. So now you know the basics about Term. I really hope you guys start having some fun swinging at some newbies in the realm. And if you learned anything from this video, please subscribe to make sure that you never miss a guide. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.